Welcome to the Copper King Mine and Railroad. Today we're going to talk about Galena Days. The people of Bingham love to celebrate, and this was a fun one. So, stay tuned. Galena Days. The first Galena Days was held September 30th, 1939. Part of that celebration was the dedication of the Copperfield Tunnel. It had already been opened for traffic on February 4th, 1939, but we have some great pictures of this celebration. Now, this one was taken up in Copperfield up to the upper porthole, and you can see all the people standing around here and celebrating the opening of this tunnel. Then we have some fun pictures of them inside the tunnels. And so look at the people's faces. They're really having fun in here, and they're all grinning. Looks like they've walked through this tunnel. Now, this is an interesting picture. This was taken 2 days before the opening of the tunnel, and that was on February 4th, 1939. So this picture was taken February 2nd. Look at all the neat cars parked up here around this portal, and the kids playing right there to the right. I just think that's neat. Galena Days was a celebration of the 1904 incorporation of that town. In Marion Dunn's book, Bingham Canyon, he states, quote, "Back in 1939, Bingham Canyon celebrated its first Galena Days. It was a holiday in which the old days were honored. It was an attempt to recapture the spirit of the past. It was an attempt to remember what the town had been like in a more carefree time," unquote. This flag or banner was part of the 50-year anniversary. That was in 1954. Now, it now hangs in my train room, and it was a gift from Brad Allen. What a great thing that is. The days were named after a rock, galena. This is the natural mineral of lead and a source of silver. It was mined at Bingham Canyon. There was even a mine named Galena Mine. It was part of the first claims at Bingham. Here's a picture of that old Galena mine. Then here's a picture of the rock specimen I have of Galena. Now this one was found at the Lark Mine, and it was given to me by my grandfather, and the Lark Mine is underneath Bingham. Lead was widely used in the early 20th century. Lead was in paint and gasoline and many other products, until we found out how dangerous it was. The people of Bingham loved to celebrate. The 4th of July was a big one. In Marion Dunn's book about Bingham Canyon, his first chapter starts with, quote, "The last noisy 4th." It tells of the kids of Bingham early in the morning setting off fireworks and firecrackers. People they woke up was surprised to see how small the kids were, but that was the kids of Bingham, tough and independent. That was the 4th of July of 1936. The next year, fireworks and firecrackers will become illegal and banned. So let's look at some of these great pictures of them celebrating up in Bingham on all the holidays, the 24th of July, the 4th of July, or whatever event there was to celebrate. Now this one was at the end of World War I. You can see them coming out of Copperfield, and you see Eline Bridge in the background, and they're having a parade, and they're just marching down the street here. Then look at this one. Look at this picture of all the banners and all the stuff they got hanging across the street and all the decorations. That's just great. And this one, they're even celebrating a person's death right here. They got a coffin. They're having a parade coming down Main Street. They had parades and games and activities, races. You see them running a horse race up the canyon here. And right here, they're mucking out a car. They're trying to load the ore cars fast they can, spiking contests and foot races. This right here is a foot race of 1909. That was on the pioneer days or the days of 47. Galena Days had their own activities. One comment from Larry Sax about Galena Days activity, I quote, "They had mucking, spiking, double jack drilling, beard growing contest, foot, three-legged, shoe scrambles, and sack races, homemade soapbox races down the canyon. A queen and 2 attendants were selected each year for the celebration. Mock penalties were given to men who didn't grow beards." Unquote. At Galena Days, people dressed up as olden days. Men had to wear beards or was fined or thrown into jail if they didn't have a beard. My mother told about her memories of Galena Days. Her dad and her would walk up the streets visiting the people as they went. She just knew that her dad knew everyone in Bingham and was proud of that. Now, her dad never grew a beard. What was mandatory during Galena Days, jail time or fine if you were clean shaven, but her dad would just pay the fine and be happy about that. Now, here's a picture of a shaving permit would cost $1 back in 1947. And then here's a picture of the gel, a little mini gel they'd put you in if you didn't have a beard. So that was really fun. Now let's look at some of these pictures of the first Galena Days parade. Now these were taken from the Tribune newspaper, and it was in the negative collection. But the photographer, he got a little artistic and took them at an angle. So I tried to straighten them out, but it cropped out a lot of the pictures. But these are just really great historical pictures, I think, of this 1939 parade up in Bingham. So take a moment and look at these pictures. Now most of these pictures was taken right up where the entrance of the tunnel was, up just above the confluence. You can see the big store, the Bingham Merkin right there in the picture. And it was a little wide area where they could turn around. Actually, you can see on the ground right there where the oil stains were, where the cars used to park to wait to go up into that Copperfield tunnel. As we are looking at these pictures, look how many people is involved in this event. People of Bingham just love to celebrate, and seems like they had everybody out here in the street and just really enjoying themselves. I just think these are just really some fun pictures of 1939, the first Galena Days. Let me give you a little timetable for the Galena Days. The first one was 1939, the second one was 1940, the third was 1941, but in the war years from 1941 to 1944, it was discontinued. And then in 1945, there was the fourth one. In 1946, that year was skipped, and then the fifth one was 1947. The sixth Galena Day took place in 1950. They waited until 1954 to have the seventh Galena Days, and that will be called the Golden Jubilee. Most everyone got involved with Galena Day celebration and the other holidays. Why did the people of Bingham like to party and celebrate? What made the people so close? Jim Joan Wilson from the Bingham Canyon History Facebook group commented, quote, "As I recall, it was an opportunity for the community to come together and share their heritage, their customs, their dress, and food, along with that celebration," unquote. The people of Bingham came from all over the world. It would be called the mixing pot or a League of Nations. This was their chance to come together, to be part. They had worked together hard at the mine, now they wanted to play together. These were fun times for the people of Bingham, and it should be remembered. So that was Galena Days at Bingham Canyon Mine.